So you just got your hands on Lego Super Mario and you want to know what it takes to get the highest score you can possibly get. Well, as the guy who got the highest course score in the Lego Super Mario Championship, I think I am more than qualified to tell you everything you need to know to optimize your course to be the best that it can be. And so this is my winning course for the Lego Super Mario Championship. Now this is just working with everything that the course is, no extra pieces, no frills, anything like that. So allow me to take you through the story of what's going on here. First you start off in Toad Town because every great adventure starts off with a little bit of help from your friends Toad and Toadette. And obviously, leaving Toad Town, you need to get yourself a power-up mushroom. So you're going to grab that before you head across your journey. Make your way across the first gap where some water is there. Grab the 1 number box there. I don't know what you want to call that. That's not actually from Mario, but you get the point. And there's your first perilous platform. This one is a little bit off the ground, not too high, so that way you can maintain your control over everything and rack up a ton of coins before going off to the first item block right here. Now, you can hit this item block twice within a certain time period and register whatever you get out of there. And you obviously can't make it to that platform because of the 2 cheap that are lurking over there. So you have to take the platform, I don't know what you want to call that, the slide, I guess. Yeah, you're going to take that slide across there. Not many coins there, but just a good means of transportation across the way. Make your way off of the stones and get that number 2 box. And then off of that stone right there, make your way to the top of the tower where Buzzy Beetle Benny is defending the treasure. And of course, what is inside the treasure chest? The most important thing in life, time. You earn yourself an extra 30 seconds before you hop down from where that treasure chest is, and you take the cloud over to where Bowser Jr. has been lurking and where he took that other half of the tree. So make sure you hop over onto that cloud. You don't need to bother the shy guy that's chilling on the island there. He's just hanging out, man. You don't need to bother him because he's not bothering you, right? So grab that cloud and make your way over to that half of the tree. Knock Bowser Jr. off of his high horse as you exit off of the cloud. Take care of him and claim yourself the reward of item box number 3. That'll net you a ton of coins along the way here, so make sure you give enough time in between each of those item boxes so they register properly. Now go on to your final perilous platform where the Commander Koopa is lurking across there. You don't have to defeat him necessarily, but you have to make your way across this platform a little bit higher up and along the water here. Make sure that nothing else is getting in the way of your platform. And so, yeah, use the Koopa if you want to as a handle for this section right here. And then to finish off, right before you head over to the flagpole, make one final jump onto the triple Goomba stack. 1, 2, 3 will do it, and you can make your way to the goal with no issue whatsoever. This course right here, I got a maximum of 134 coins, which is pretty incredible. Now, me trying to do this with one hand is obviously a bit more challenging than having 2 hands. So I recommend you use 2 hands. I'm using 1 hand because I'm recording it with 1 hand on my phone, but also I'm a complete tryhard. Now, you don't need to have all this stuff in your course to optimize for the most coins, but this is what I came up with. So as long as you have things evenly distributed across your entire way here, then you can get a pretty good score. You can't just go one thing after another though, because it's not going to register exactly what's happening in the app and with Mario. There's a little bit of cool time in between each of these different items, so make sure you space things out pretty evenly. One of the only things you can hit in succession are like the Goomba, but that makes sense because there's a ton of them. And a lot of enemies that you can litter throughout your course, you don't even have to bother. You just, hang out with them. So I'm going to show you the first run here where I hold my holder for my phone and try to capture what it's like over here. So this is what it's like just using one hand across everything right here. Now, depending on what you get out of the item box there, you can get like 10 coins, a mushroom, a power star, or an extra 15 seconds. And to me, that is the most valuable thing that I can get for this course right here. because, I mean, time is the most valuable thing you can have in life, and these platforms give you a ton of coins as well. So the more time that I can spend on each of these different platforms, the better off I'll be. Now, that Power Star, I guess once you have it, you can't register the item box again. When you go over to an enemy, you actually get double the amount of coins. So if you have Bowser Jr. a little closer to you, then you can get double the coins that way. But your chances of getting a Power Star under those circumstances are not as high as you might think. So I don't factor that in when making my levels here. I end up getting a ton of coins off of the cloud here. And yeah, so take care of Bowser Jr. And again, those platforms here, the ones that you rotate with seemingly one hand, they work really well. And you can get like 25 to 35 coins just off of those alone. So if you happen to get like 15 extra seconds out of that item block and potentially then you get a star, then you're going to be working really, really effectively with everything else here. And even if you do happen to get to the triple Goomba stack and you mess up and happen to, you know, topple them all over, well, then you can just register it as if it were 3, have a little bit of time remaining on the clock, and as you can see, my final score here is in the 90s. It is 94. So there you go. That's just with one hand. Now, if I use my 2 hands over here and go through the course as if I normally would, with a little bit of different circumstances, I end up doing a lot better off. So if you want to go super challenge hard mode, go for that with just one hand, but 2 hands, obviously more control and whatnot, you're totally fine. So this is what I came up with. That way I can actually move Mario across the course, have as much fun as I possibly can, because I don't want to put everything all in a row and call it a day, right? So that's all I have there. Now I'm also working with just one of everything that I have. So I'm not doubling up on any of the other packs. This is just what LEGO sent me in the first initial wave here between the Toad Treasure Hunt, Piranha Plant Power Slide, the Boomerbill Barrage, and the Starter Course, and obviously the Character Pack. So a lot of those other things I did not use. The Power Plant Piranha Slide is actually like double coin mode at some point if you manage to get that working properly. So if you want to, I mean, I'll demonstrate that in just a second here, but having it in this course didn't make much sense for me because it just worked better having a different story and having everything work the way it was going to this way. And when you get onto the Boomerbill Barrage and the Piranha Plant Power Slide, it's definitely more of a commitment than just what you're seeing here. So, as you can see here, I get the triple Goomba stack, no problem whatsoever. And with the power of 2 hands combined here, I do manage to get a much higher score, and it's 118. And that is with not the ideal circumstances. I have gotten 134. So this is just a demo of what exactly it takes here. You don't have to have all this stuff combined here. You can literally put everything right in a row, and you're totally fine. And I'll show you what each of these things gives you at the end of the little section here. So Toad and Toadette give you 5 each. Each of the Goomba is 1 coin, and depending on what you get out of that item box, you could see something different. Now, I don't show you in the screenshot here because I'm actually using my phone right here to record it, but with that Starman, you get double the amount of coins against Bowser Jr., and you can go back to the Goomba if you want to and do whatever else. So there's another mushroom there. My only critique is that when you have a mushroom and then you get a mushroom out of the item box, it doesn't double up at all, which obviously it doesn't in the Mario games, but typically that just adds to your score. In this situation, it does not. It basically negates anything that was happening there. So if I could have any critique for the developers or anyone at LEGO, is that it should still give you some amount of coins, maybe like 10 coins or something if you happen to have 2 of mushrooms. And what's important to know with those 3 boxes right there, you need to have a little bit of cooldown time after you get the 3rd box because it takes a little bit of while to register what's happening there. So once you hear the coins be redeemed there, then you can go on to whatever the next thing is. And if you get each of those 3 boxes right there, then it totals to 16 coins, which is definitely absolutely worth it because those you could just place very strategically around your course. You don't even have to go anywhere too crazy with them. They can just float around there. It doesn't really take much skill to get that done. And now you can see with just the things that I placed basically right in a row there, I got a score of obviously over 100, 112. So that worked out pretty well. And you can see the screenshots here of what each thing does. Now, the Koopa has a little bit of variation with the coins, but, you know, you're mostly going to be working with the one-shot enemies with Bowser Jr., eventually with Bowser. Those are going to net you a lot more coins and be easier to deal with over time. Now, when I do get my hands on more of the sets, I will definitely show you what each of the numbers are for the coins when you're defeating those enemies, but there's only so much I can do right in this second here. So the two main things that I didn't include in here are the Piranha Plant Power Slide and the Boomer Bill Barrage. So the Boomer Bill Barrage basically functions the same way as those perilous platforms I was showing you before, except with the added challenge of the Boomer Bill. So if you want to go for a high score, not really risking the biscuit, don't even bother with the Boomer Bill Barrage, because there's a chance you could get knocked off by them. And obviously you don't want to take any chances when you want to get the highest score you possibly can. Now, the Piranha Plant Power Slide is a little bit more interesting only because it has a different functionality apart from everything else that I've showed you so far. So when you put Mario on the Piranha Plant Power Slide and move him back and forth, the more that you keep him on there, he'll go into double and triple coin mode, which wasn't made apparent when I first unboxed everything. So when I was on the Piranha Plant Slide and I was doing that and I was accidentally hitting each of the Piranha, it was kind of like I wasn't getting many coins, so I was like, whatever. But thankfully, Jonathan Bennett told us that, yeah, if you don't hit each of the Piranhas, then you'll actually get a ton of coins. And as you can see here, it does take quite a bit of skill to go between each of the Piranhas without hitting either of them. Now, my strategy was not looking at where Mario is, but looking at the 3 tiles that are on the section of rail that Mario goes on, because that way, at least for my instincts the way they are, you better time out when to move from left to right with each of your 2 hands. Use your 2 hands, make sure you keep track of Mario. You can net a lot of coins that way, but you gotta make sure you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. So as part of the LEGO Super Mario Championship, I not only had to come up with the level, but also a story to go along with it. And Jonathan Bennett, the designer at the LEGO Super Mario project, was the one to judge. So I came up with something a little more creative than I think what he had expected. So take a look at what I came up with and his reaction to go with.
On to Brian now. Hello, Brian.
Well, hello here. So my level has a little bit of a story to it as well. So with any great Mario adventure, you need a little bit of direction on where to go. So there's an arrow to start. And whenever I start a grand adventure, I always need a little bit of help from my friends. So we have Toad and Toadette here to greet Mario as he exits the warp pipe and paints a picture of the conflict happening down toward this area here, where Buzzy Beetle Benny has taken over the highest tower that was once owned by Bowser Jr. He's been kicked off, and Bowser Jr. was so mad that all he had left to claim was half of the tree. So he's defending that half of the tree. Kenny Koopa isn't having any of that nonsense, trying to dethrone Bowser Jr. off the tree. So as Mario gets along through his journey, claims the power, the mushroom here, and a couple of these numbered blocks here for some extra coins and points, makes his way through the perilous platforms, stealthily navigates the lava, uses the cat suit ability to climb the perilous tower, and not only defeat Buzzy Beetle Benny, but get the most valuable treasure that you can possibly have in life, more time. Using that time, rides onto the cloud there, bonks onto Bowser Jr., gets rid of him. Does Mario defeat Kenny Koopa? I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. Hops over to one of the final platforms, and obviously, to end it off, the triple Goomba stack. 1, 2, 3. Bam, to the goal we go. Will Mario be able to make it? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Brian, I'm
Is that a good reaction
my Netflix account. Just come to my house and tell me stories all day long, man. That was amazing.
So
great storytelling once again. This is awesome, man. Jonathan, what were your thoughts on that?
Oh, this is so awesome. I have tears in my eyes. That's so funny. Just the idea of like splitting the tree in half, but he's still kind of defending the half of the tree that he has left. And then you're getting the most valuable thing in life. I was like, is it going to be Princess Peach or is it going to be, power up? But no, it's just very simple. More time. We all want more time. So yeah, well done. And I like the triple Goombas, like stacking them, because that's what you do in Mario games. But yeah. Awesome.
So that's most of what I came up with while having just Mario and the things I have at my disposal. Now, I don't have Bowser's Castle, King Boo's Haunted Yard, a bunch of the other sets, but when August 1st comes around, I'm going to be breaking down those sets as well. So make sure you're subscribed to Beyond the Brick for all the latest LEGO Super Mario content and a whole lot more. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown and hope it inspired some creativity for yourself when you're making your very own Mario courses when the time comes. Have a fantastic day, and thank you for watching, and until next time, I've been Brian Saviano. See ya.